Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Gibraltar 2020 for an important match in, it must be the fourth round of the fighters bracket. These two players have need two more victories to make it to the final 8. I am joined here by Grandmaster Class 2 Daniel Sørensen from Denmark. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here in the studio to provide us with some expert commentary.
Yeah.
The match has started. Jumping out looks correct. 5s.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have to hit on the ace.
Yeah, and make the 3.
And the 3, yeah. That's a strong double 5.
Especially with the other blood floating around, you want your opponent to dance, so you can pick up the second one.
And he has an extra checker in the zone, so this is a very strong double if he dances.
We lost the board. Yeah, there we go.
There he goes.
Okay.
He enters with a 4-3. So
4-6 it was.
4. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
4-6. Yeah.
Okay. Chris already pondering. Is there anything here yet?
I think this could be a double if you were trailing, but at 0-0, I think he's correct to wait.
Okay. So two players with a bit of a different composure, I would say. Chris is the more mellow. He does cube.
He does cube. Okay, interesting.
Ralf takes it confidently.
And the 4-1. Sometimes you just want to have an early double just to see what happens. I don't know if they've played each other before, but Chris wants to show that he's aggressive. He's not afraid. He'll like to win quick points here, and but I still think it's a little early.
Yes. I'm not sure how much Chris considers himself underdog here.
Yeah.
Or whether he considers himself equal.
Yeah.
Making the 9?
Yeah, he's outboarded. I would make the 9. It's a solid play. He unstacks the midpoint.
It's also conform with Ralf Jonas's play. I think he has a tendency to shun volatility.
Oh, really?
Sometimes, yeah.
Interesting.
We can see if we find more examples of that style of play in the course of this match.
Now, there's a choice here for Chris because he could make the 5. He can make either 5. He could also hit. That's a very difficult play, but if he makes the defensive point, then he has no real no. So that's my play as well.
Okay.
6-3.
Uncomfortable. It leaves 2 blots, I would say. There's no way you can play with 1 blot here, is there?
Yeah. No, he can duplicate 3s by running out, but that's not a real duplication because he would like to hit. He can make the 3-point.
Ah, yes. Then Ralf would have 4s and 2s.
Yeah. He could also duplicate the 2s by playing 13-4.
Ah, yes. Wow.
That looks like a strong play.
Wow, yes. I had never seen that. That looks like the best play.
Yeah.
If this were a double consultation, I'd follow you.
Okay, I'm not sure it's
right.
Jonas
goes for something else.
Yeah.
He goes for the hit and run. Some duplication of 3s.
Yeah.
I think maybe if the cube had been in the middle still, this would have been a great action cube.
Yeah.
Because the hitting numbers are really gammonish.
Yeah. But it makes a difference that he's already doubled.
Yes. Does that influence your checker play?
Well, if you've already doubled, you would like to make more decisive plays.
Yes.
If it's close. But most of the time, it will be the same play.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this saying by Bill Roberty, where he said, if you have doubled, you should go for the quick kill.
Yeah.
Take more risk for a quick kill.
Yeah.
And what does Ralf...
But this is the other way
for?
around. Now Ralf has the cubes, so he could be looking for something that's quiet.
Wow. So he found your play. This is a strong play. Question is, has he pushed his clock or is he still thinking about it?
Still thinking about it. He knows he has a tricky play.
Yes. Yes. That's also the quality of a great player, that they sense when there is a lot at stake and when there is blunder potential.
Yeah.
And that's where they invest their time.
Yeah, and they become stubborn. You know, they know that this is some players they can. I do this myself, or you know, you can't figure it out, and then you sort of give up on the analysis process if you're tired or something, and then you just.
Great play, I think. Your suggestion, I don't think I would ever have found this.
So double threes, he'll hit and he'll make the point, I guess. Yeah.
Really? I think I would consider playing 13-10.
For more cover numbers.
More cover numbers, and you keep the pressure on that other blot.
Yeah.
Difficult
and with a better
also.
board as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's the first play you see. Or the first play I saw. There's a 4.
Great hit. But return shots.
Yeah. So now he's happy he has the point.
Sure.
So 3s and 2s hit. 5-4. Yeah.
We can almost hear the sigh of relief from Ralf. The 4 probably goes down from the mid.
Yeah, to put pressure.
Yes, put pressure, duplicate 5s.
And take advantage of the stronger board.
Yes.
Yeah.
An escaping attempt.
Yeah, and he makes a point at the same time. So a miss is very good for why he hits with the double 5.
That's a hit. Wow, a great one.
That's the best hit.
And yeah, do you jump out now or you make the 8? Depends on the race.
Depends on the race, yeah. Let's see what the race is here. Well, maybe he knows the race. Looks like and a dance. So this is. That was a great sequence for Chris.
Yes.
And now double 3s.
So no way to make a point in board. No way to clear the 15. So careful consideration required.
Yeah, even these kind of plays, you want to make sure that you've considered the best move. That's step number 1. And then step number 2 is to find out if it's a tricky play. So he leaves some outshot. So 4-2, come in on the 2, and down from the midpoint. Six one. He can hit.
Yeah.
And I think he should just hit because he's going to be leaving shots anyway somewhere.
Albeit indirects.
Yeah.
You can play 10-2, but that's too passive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to bite the bullet.
Yeah. 10-2 leaves 4 shots, and hitting leaves 13. But there are gammons, a lot more gammons.
Yes.
So he's considering the ace.
He goes for the cautious approach. This may be the double match point play.
Yeah. 6-2.
2-1.
2-1. We'll have to stay back.
Yes.
Trailing in the race. So you can slot.
I think he will make the bar.
He'll make the bar. He's anticipating. If he makes that play, he's anticipating future hits. So he wants to reduce blots, and also it's a strong structure. So he also just saw that Chris won't be hitting.
Yes. I was thinking along the same lines. He saw reluctance from Chris to hit.
So he'll be hitting, of course, if he can point. 6-4.
Yeah.
So he can play 3 and 1. That's my guess. That's what he'll be playing because.
No. You think so? I don't. I think he will venture the aggressive containment
Shots.
tactic. I think this is
You're
correct.
right. Yeah, I think it's correct as well.
There's
2-6.
a hit by Jonas. Wow.
That's a huge hit.
Yes, it is. Chris needs an ace or double fives.
3-2.
Ooh, what a swing in Ralph's favor.
Yeah. This is huge, and he's closing in on a double.
Yes. Of course, Jonas is still down in the race.
Yeah. And he's outboarded, so he should wait. But these are good positions because he can just wait to double to the exact right time. I don't know about the correct aces here.
Me neither.
Maybe just
15 to 14.
15, 14.
Or do you want to create some, like, I don't know.
I think my play is just down from the midpoint.
Okay.
But it has to be close. Double threes. He'll move up, make the 4.
Yes, good roll.
It's a great roll.
And slot or not really important.
So now any loose hit will be very dangerous.
Yeah.
So 2-6, double 4s, 4-5s.
That's only 5 rolls.
Yeah,
Yeah, you need to risk it here.
yeah, easily worth it.
Yes.
Big swing here. 4-6. He'll have to leave the double shot. Leave out. A miss is great for Chris.
This is highly volatile.
Yeah, 24 hits. He's making sure with the 4-3.
Yes.
So 2/3 to hit. All these rolls would count in the States.
Yes, they would.
3-2.
Is a hit.
And he makes the 8 playing safe.
Yeah.
He knows that if Chris doesn't respond here, there'll be a strong, very strong position. 3-6, that should be a cash.
Yes. Wow. He escaped from a predicament.
Yeah,
He was in dire straits at the moment,
Yeah.
Ralf Jonas, but found some good rolls. Chris probably will regret not hitting on the deuce,
yeah,
because Ralf would have danced, and I think against a player of Ralf Jonas's status, the hit was pretty almost forced. It looked. It gave him, in case of a dance, he would have had great gammon chances for a 4-0 lead. I think this approach was a bit too cautious.
yeah. Also because it was a position that was bound to leave shots anyway, as we saw.
Yeah.
So that's why I was guessing he was going to play a ultra conservative.
Yes.
So Ralf is counting the race. And let's see if we can do that.
But maybe we can say that. Okay, go ahead.
Red has 100 pips.
Okay. Okay. Red has 100. White has 46, 58, 80.
85.
Yeah.
So that's a 15 pip lead, and he's outboarded. So I guess that's a take anyway.
Really?
Yeah, because
Wow.
well, I'm not sure. It's how many numbers make the 4? Those are the killers, and another dance, regardless of.
Mm-hmm.
But
So 16 at least. Double 5 also makes the 4.
yeah. But
There's the cube.
There's the cube.
I think Chris will drop.
Yeah.
Yes, in a
Immediately.
flash.
Yeah. I think that was actually a very difficult cube, the 4 cube.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's I might be way off here, but you know, when you have a stronger board and you have a race lead, that can compensate for a huge structure, because what he was threatening hadn't happened yet. So sometimes you can get confused on what the difference between what you're threatening and what you're actually doing.
I see.
And maybe Chris, he had lots of time to think about it and thinking about how Ralph's roles played, and you might be right. But sometimes you see positions like that where you can take them
I see.
because of, like I said, a board advantage and a race lead. Those two things, they're big when you want to consider a take.
Okay. And a low gammon percentage.
Yeah, also.
Gammonless it
Yes,
was.
yeah.
All the checkers were in
Yeah.
board, only had
Yeah.
one checker left on the 8,
Yeah.
so
And
even
if-
if you got closed out, it would only have been like 9% gammons or something.
Yeah, and there would also be gammons the other way, a fluke shot.
Sure.
And and maybe just enter on the 4 and then forcing Ralph to hit loose, and then you have pretty good return shots from there.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I'm not convinced one way or the other actually.
No, but interesting considerations. Race lead, stronger board,
Yeah,
and only threat.
yeah,
So not an executed threat yet, but only a threat.
yeah.
I would be curious to see what this cube action was.
Yeah.
We may check it during the break.
Yeah. So I can't see the. It's 3-2.
Wow, that's not a good roll, for sure. Maybe the 2 down. I like this. Okay.
He could have played 9-6 and then having the
Yes.
blot farther back.
Yes.
This leaves more shots.
But a better builder, maybe.
A lot better, yeah.
And then,
So-
yeah.
So he'll be happy with that after.
Of course.
I don't like taking 2 down with 5-4. You don't see it as often anymore. I don't like it, but it's very close. The 2 candidates with an opening 5-4, and then when you see someone roll like 3-2, then you see why that reminds me why I don't want to play it.
Yes.
But I know Michael Nielsen from Denmark. He thinks it's an underrated
Opening,
play.
really?
Yeah, he likes it.
Okay. You need to know the continuations, of course.
Yeah. 6-3,
Yes.
making the 3-point.
So pretty even game it
Yeah,
looks.
they have both a 3-point board and 2 checkers back. White has split.
That's better. That's an advantage.
That's a huge thing when both have structures. So White has 4 blots now. So he'll have to hit on the deuce. Oh, that's
Or he
actually a
can double
triple.
shift.
He
Maybe
can-
double shifting to buy time.
Yeah, but that will cost him some structure.
Yes. But there's 2 blots. White has 2 blots. If you double shift, maybe it gives you time to extricate your back checkers.
Yeah, but it's very committed.
Very committal.
Yeah. I think I would play. I think I would hit on the deuce and make the bar.
I see, yes.
That's a very strong position, the 4 prime there. Although you're moving your checkers from the 3-point away from where you want to be, But putting him on the bar is big because Chris himself was threatening with improving his structure, and he has in total 4 blots. So anytime your opponent has a lot of blots, you want to look at any hitting move.
I agree. This is actually very difficult.
Yeah, it is.
This is I like to use the word conundrum
Yeah.
for things like that. The game throws a joker at you, but there are several ways to play it.
Yeah.
You could easily go wrong. Look, he is considering the tempo hit.
Yeah.
So he's sacrificing structure
Yeah. And
for
but
tempo.
yeah, and it's a huge sacrifice if you look at it because it cost him the bar.
No. This
No, he
is
doesn't.
more his style.
Okay, I see.
Really.
This puts pressure on Chris. Now it's Chris who has to.
Yes, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Gee, you would love to jump out from behind the broken 5', but you are vulnerable on your side of the board.
Yeah. Well, this I heard Mucci saying yesterday about you want to make your opponent give your opponent difficult plays and yourself easy plays, and hitting checkers in the short run at least.
Doesn't pose any problems to your opponent.
No.
Right. Yes.
Whereas here, by hitting 0 checkers, Chris immediately was given a problem.
Yes. Yeah, this really corresponds to what I know about Ralf Jonas's play.
Yeah.
If he has a choice between 2 plays and they are rather close,
Yeah.
he will not give the easy hit to the opponent, because a hit is something you can't miss.
Yeah.
Even an inferior player can see a blot and can hit it if he rolls the number.
Yeah.
There is a cube. This is a prime versus prime with timing issues.
Yeah. I think maybe Chris misplayed that play, so anytime your opponent misplays something, you want to put some pressure on, extra pressure,
I see.
making him regret his play maybe. Position was begging for him to move his back checker,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, making up the anchor, of course, you reduce the numbers which jump into the gap.
Yeah.
But I think...
This is another tricky move.
oh, yes.
4-3. He can make the 4, or he can jump, or he can just play something like 11. Or he can slot the 4.
Slot
but
with the duplicated deuces.
yeah.
Wow. Wow, the fact that he can jump. Who has the timing advantage here? It looks like red.
Yeah, because red can jump, whereas white, his 2 checkers are tied up.
Wow.
So that's the checker.
Wow, he does.
Well,
he
you-
does jump.
yeah.
Wow.
Now he 4s hits. 5-2. Now he'll have to hit and go up to.
Yeah.
This is just hit and split.
Yes. Famous maneuver.
But blots everywhere.
Yeah.
Some people looking at this position at home might think, oh, that's crazy because 3 blots and so on. But it's white who's being pressured here. And whatever, if white just leaves red alone, then Ralf will just run away with this.
Yes.
Chris recognizes that.
Yes. This is This is an obvious play, I think.
Yeah.
Would be a big blunder, I think, to miss it.
So 5-6.
Wow, still very blotty. Well, we are being treated to a fascinating backgammon match.
Yeah, this is great.
Israel, do we have chat?
So there's a 6. And there's a choice between jumping out, moving away from the spares on the 6 point, pulling a checker down, putting pressure on, or this one. You could also hit on the 2, but that would be way too much.
Yes.
3-2. This hit and cover.
Ah, yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, now Ralf needs pressure. He needs 1-6.
Wow.
Joker.
That's another joker. It's another one.
Okay, so
Will Ralf dance, or will he come in?
there's a huge swing here. 1-4. It's 1. And safety's that. There are hit options. 5-1. Again, he'll have to hit. Now the question is if he should button up.
I don't think so. I think now I would keep my flexibility, because you want to be able to escape or move up to the 21-point anchor in case Ralf dances.
Yeah, and also if he's hit here, he'll have some either return shots, or he'll have if Ralf hits loose, or he'll have three places to.
Okay, there's a dance. You need to cover and jump out. That would be ideal.
Double 6s, forced.
Forced. Yeah. Bad roll. Bad roll.
Yeah.
Not covering.
So again, a huge swing here on the next roll. Dance. So now he can cover with 1s, 2s, and 5s. Because the 2s are duplicated. Double 6. Status quo. And now he enters. Okay. Wow. Double 2s. Another joker.
Wow. That's pointing and moving up.
Well, the last deuce. I understand why he's considering this one.
I agree with this one. I think being hit from the bar would be too much.
Yeah. If he needs a 5 and a 6 anyway, so he'll be hit here.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Even if it is correct to hit, I think Ralf may be tempted to just play 12 to 11.
But it's just so huge to hit on the 4 because.
Really?
Yeah, because if you don't hit, then he'll have vulnerable checkers anyway. The checker on the 5, the checker, and also white is threatening to jump or make an anchor.
Yes, but are you at such a disadvantage then? You see, this will probably be his play.
1s hit, 2s and 3s go up, and 5s and 6 jumps. So.
Yes, but on the other hand, if he hits, he exposes himself to 17 shots or something, which are gammonish.
Yeah.
This is not Ralf's style.
Okay.
You see, the hit. Well, I don't want to prove my point with this roll.
Yeah. There's a huge swing on that roll.
But I thought that Ralf considered the fact that, I mean, if he doesn't hit, he shuns the volatility. And now if he gets missed, I mean, white is still stuck with these checkers behind the prime.
Yeah.
White is in big trouble here.
That's not clear because he could just hit on the deuce.
Point on the deuce.
Yeah. He can point on the deuce, and then he'll be threatening to hit with sixes.
Okay, I see.
And white will have a harder time getting an anchor here. So a dance from here is
winning probably and gammonish.
yeah. And the downside are ones and sixes from the bar. 4-6.
Wow.
That's huge.
Yes.
But there were indirect shots anyway, so over there.
Wow. Suddenly the game swings in Chris's favor. He needs to jump out or find a 3 or an ace.
Yeah, but is he playing on too good? Or did he think he wasn't good enough? Oh, he obviously thought he wasn't good enough.
I see.
That was an obvious cue.
I see.
Because he's trailing 2-0.
Ah, yes.
And it's a recube and it's gammonish. So you in those positions there, he's threatening with everything. He's threatening with aces. He's threatening with 5s and 6s. So he didn't think he was good enough because his position improved.
What about this here? I mean, anything that does not contain a 5 or a 6 crunches.
Yeah, but then you have a position from the bar where you're up against a 5-point board, and you need 6s, and your opponent will need 5s and 6s. Right. So even when he crunches, white is big. I think he missed the double there, and
yeah.
And that position might have been too good.
Yes. Especially with the blot. Extra blot.
Yeah. Ralf must have known that was a big pass.
Okay. Do you remember the position where Ralf doubled and Chris took? Because Simon Bargett in the chat says it was a big pass.
Okay.
So I don't remember which position that was.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that position.
Yeah.
We didn't. So it was a huge pass. Okay. Double 3s. So it looks like Chris is being is had a couple of bad cube plays. 6-2. Covers and split. 3-1. Here, Ralf just makes the 5-point. Leaving shots. And it's hit.
Somebody in the chat said that there was no missed double in the last position. But how reliable this info is not to be checked. We cannot be sure.
Okay.
Sometimes they get it wrong.
Okay, good.
They don't see that it's a recube, or they think it's an initial cube when it's a recube.
Okay.
So we cannot take the info in the chat as
but
doctrine.
I'm just saying what I would do over the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, with the race advantage, Chris plays it safe. He has a simple game plan, escaping the last checker.
Yeah, and now there's a tricky play here with 6-5 trailing in the race.
Yes.
But if he doesn't run, he doesn't really have a good 5, unless he wants to slot. But that seems like a lot. But he does it. Good. If that's a good best play, that's great. 4-3.
You bring it into the 6, I guess. Simon Bargett is a bit offended. I'm sorry, Simon. I didn't mean any harm. I was referring to something from last night where there was a 5-away, 9-away score at a certain moment, and somebody was really claiming that it was a big pass, but he had forgotten to see that it was a recube. So we're a little bit cautious as to take everything for granted that appears on the chat. But of course, everything which has Simon Bargett in front of a chat, we will take as pure truth. Simon is always right, somebody says. Cecilia. Thank you, Cecilia. You may well be right there.
So he's hitting with the 3, Ralf. And moves up. There are really no good 6s after the hit. So 1-5. That or 8-3. But with blots being around, you might want to keep your block count low yourself.
I agree. And you don't strip your 8 points.
Also, if you want to slot the 3 point, you can do that later anyway. So.
I agree. And here is 6 to play, I think.
It's now we can move up or play 8-5, and moving up is clear.
I agree.
6-3.
Out. Yeah. It's a
Duplicating.
bold play. I think the bold play is justified because you are down in the race.
It's duplicating 4s anyway.
Duplicating 4s, a stronger board, high anchor.
Yeah.
And 3s. You hit and you make the 3 would be my... What is this? It's a 3-2.
3-2, yeah.
Where are my glasses?
So, double 2s. And playing 13-11, okay.
Probably thinking that the 16 point and the midpoint don't work well together.
Yeah.
There is the 3 point.
Double 4s. That's a weak roll. 1, 2. And they'll just have to play to the 3 point. Yeah.
No double tiger? No. Too committal.
Yeah, and there's not a real gain. White's not threatening with anything, so he just wants to hope for a miss, which didn't happen.
No.
And you'll jump there. Yeah. So a dance is good here for Chris. 4-1. So Chris stops to think about a double, but that checker on the 15 point needs to be cleaned up first before you can take any doubling considerations.
Yes, I agree. And now also I think with the stripped points and the 2 anchors, it's too early.
Yeah, he has 3 strip points, so he needs to clear something.
Yeah.
But red also has, Ralf has some timing issues. He needs to get that back checker running now. And it's a good time to do it right now. 6-4.
Wow.
That's a good roll.
Wow.
So now he maintains his structure, his position, and puts pressure on Chris.
Yes.
6-5. This is a pay now or pay later position.
Yeah. Well, you have to pay now in one way or another. You cannot clear your 8.
No,
That would be...
So it's a difficult play.
Okay.
Because Ralf, I think he has to clear. You're right. He has to clear something.
I think that's the best play.
That's my play as well.
Would have been my play, yeah.
Oh, the die is on the floor.
Yeah, it happens quite frequently with Ralf.
Have you played him?
Yes, I played him in the final of the WBGF European Championships
Oh
2
my
weeks
God.
ago. Yes.
Wow.
We had 2 grueling back games. It was a 17-point match, and there were moments when the backgammon was in the air. I could have won 6 points. Everybody was well, not everybody, but people were rooting for a backgammon, but it didn't happen. Ralf escaped from the back games. Yeah, I did play him. Had a great fun.
So you know him really well, and you're completely up to date with this game.
I'm still trying to figure it all out.
Yeah.
But I have detected some patterns.
Okay. And you've mentioned a couple of them already.
Yeah. I hope he won't blame me for that, for giving away his secrets.
Fourth wheel leaves the shot anyway, so. And now red, that duplicates 3s. So Ralf can hit with 3s, and he hits.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Outfield control.
And if there's no deuce here,
He may be too good. Oh,
that saves him.
wow.
So no double. It's amazing. A lot of things have happened in this game, and the cube's still in the middle.
Do you think that white is like a little bit crunched with the dilly builder on the deuce? That must be a factor in your consideration?
Yeah, because he'll have to give up something very soon.
Yes.
So what he would love to do here is to hit, because that would solve his problems. And Ralf has 4 blots.
Yeah, but Ralf is on roll.
Yeah,
So Ralf is considering whether he can cube here,
yeah,
because white may be squeezed off his anchor at a certain moment, or will have to give up his 8 point, yielding the outfield to
yeah,
red.
yeah.
Wow, he is giving this serious thought.
But they both have 4-point boards, so.
Ah, yes.
And white has a race lead, I guess. So now double 3s
Making the 8.
and buttoning up. And this just solves everything
Yeah,
for
wow.
him. So next time we'll be looking at a cube.
All right.
Unless,
Wow, of
Wow,
course.
now-
Now that leaves a blot. Now with the blot, it's probably too good.
wow, let's see, too good.
No. Ralf decides to cash the points. Or do you think you can squeeze out a take?
No, Chris will pass
No,
this.
no, no. I agree.
Those 2 good positions are difficult, very difficult, because you have what you need to look at is what happens. What does it need to do for the opponent to get back into the game?
Yes.
And with an anchor, a low anchor, that's a huge pass. So most of the gammons are with just hitting that blot. And if he doesn't hit the blot, he doesn't have anything.
Right.
However, well, he does have something, but he doesn't. If that's a pass, if misses are a pass, then he's probably too good.
Okay, good. I think Paul McGrill in a lecture called this the ITA, immediate turnaround.
Yeah,
So when you are considering whether your position is too good or not, you should look at which sequences cause an immediate turnaround,
Yeah.
where you lose your double pass decision.
yeah, regaining the market. So he hit loose there with the 5. I think it's actually quite close, hitting or bringing down the builder. He wants to take advantage of the threats. Of a better board and taking away a roll. So double 5s is a great response for Chris.
And an interesting choice here. Yes, that would be my play, I think.
Yeah.
Correct or not?
I would play that as well. 4-2. which is an average roll. He didn't hit anything, but he entered with 2 checkers.
Okay.
That hits and covers. And now red really just wants to enter. Hit, enter and cover, I guess.
Yeah. Ah, he decides.
Is that his
not
style?
That I cannot say.
Well, the reason I think it would be good to cover there is that Chris has 4 blots.
Yes, I agree. I think I also would have covered. The computer sometimes covers using his last spare from the 6 point. It looks inflexible, but you create a 3-point board, and especially with blots floating around,
Yeah.
I think Ralf missed the correct play here, is my modest
Yeah.
opinion.
Also, if you're looking for flexibility, a lot of it you've lost by hitting on the ace. So when you hit on the ace, you want to cover the ace. That's the general rule.
I agree. Choices for Chris here.
What about the 4 point?
With the vulnerable blots in
Yeah.
the back, I think this is the better play.
Double 2s.
Okay, so the game has balanced out a bit. After some early blitz danger, we are now in a holding game.
Yeah. What often happens here is that the error rate for both players will drop.
Okay. Until they run out of timing and are confronted with a run of the anchor play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it can skyrocket.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's ugly.
So you'll need to move 4 aces.
Wow.
3 of them seem to be from the 6 point. Or may,
Is White's position now sufficiently compromised to consider a cube? No.
I think you would have to wait for something more.
Ralf has a TMP position here,
Too many points.
whereas White's position is nicely robust with plenty of with some spares.
Except he's given up his 6.
That's another ugly one.
Yeah.
But red has 2 blots in board. Maybe you can play 2 down.
Can I take back what I said about the error rates being dropped now?
Ah, yes. Yeah, you see, people call it a boring holding game, and I don't like it, because I have heard commentators say we are in a boring holding game, and in the next 2, 3, 4 moves, we see
Yeah.
2, 3 blunders.
Yeah.
So they may be boring, but they are boring if one of the players rolls a high double, but in other cases it may become very intricate.
Yeah, and this position is the
Look.
case in point.
Wow.
So now he looks to put pressure on White. White's position has begun to collapse, but,
Yeah.
but let's see, 5s hit, 4 5s, and 6s hit. Who blots?
Yeah, I think I agree with the drop here. White's position was in shatters. The guys in the chat are in small talk mode.
Yeah. Yeah. So 5-2 split. And now what often happens is, okay, 5-3.
That often happens.
That also often happens. What I was about to say was that often happens after a split is another split.
I see.
And then you get simple games. But this goes the other way now.
Wow.
This looks like almost double 3 position.
Oh, but with a hit suddenly.
6-2 and
Yeah.
return hit. And a 5-2.
Yeah.
Often you just want to move up to the best anchor, potential anchor position. But if he does that here, then
He would have to play 8-6 with that.
yeah,
I think this is better. Yeah.
difficult move. 6-1, double hit or point.
Oh, bar point, you mean? Eh?
Yeah, sorry.
See, again, Ralph's style, but definitely not his style. This is not a matter of style. This is probably the right play.
Yeah, I'll do this.
Yeah. Spectacular game, this one.
Yeah, and now he's under pressure. But 3-1, great response. And 3-1.
Now is maybe the time to step up.
Yeah, he's considering anchoring, it looks like. But you have to step up here because when your opponent has an anchor, advanced anchor, you want an advanced anchor.
Yes.
It's always good to have an advanced anchor, but the value goes even more up when your opponent has one. And also here, if he moves up with the 3, then the ace should be moved up so that they're both,
See daylight.
yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. In our view.
6-3.
Yeah.
And he'll jump.
Not what Chris had hoped. Waiting move.
5-2. There's a double hit.
Yes. There is, and it may well be correct, double tiger play, because you cannot save, well you could safety the blot 15-13 and play 6-1, but that's
very ugly.
That's very ugly. So, yeah, I think that you need to make something happen here. You have a stronger board, you are down in the race. The double tiger is correct. You knock the opponent off your 5 point. I think the double tiger play, I would play it. I think I would play it and push my clock.
So
Cube is in the middle.
So would I. But you were saying earlier that he doesn't like to hit given the choice.
Yeah.
Or that's probably inaccurate. He wants to make his opponent play.
Yeah. Another option would be 13-6. Yeah, that's his play. 13-6, duplicating 3s and playing with only 1 blot.
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure that he considered the double tiger play, but considered it too volatile.
Yeah.
And that's what you get when you duplicate.
Yeah. There's a huge swing on that roll. It would have been a dance
Yeah.
with 2 checkers.
Chris is looking at this.
Yeah.
May well be a cube.
Trailing 2
Yeah.
2 points. I wouldn't double because those 2 checkers on the anchor there. But
Now
on the other
maybe.
hand, this looks like a double. It's a great improvement.
Yeah. Do you run all the way? This is a run off the anchor or not play. But Chris decides he can still play it constructively in his own board.
Yeah.
I think this is a cube. I mean, can you confidently take this? You have, what is it, 5 shots at the blot? Maybe you run out to the midpoint, duplicating aces. Your opponent has a blotting board,
Yeah.
but this is a tricky play which you may easily misplay in this boring holding game.
And this boring holding game.
I think I would play 22-12. Would that be a huge blunder, Daniel?
I think that's a very difficult play. Double fours is terrible.
Yeah. And he gave up his valuable 10 point in the process.
Yeah. Leaving anchor is one of the most difficult plays at all.
I agree. $112 for white. 63, 70.
Now he has a cube.
Although red is not much down in the race, you know.
No, but his position is collapsed and he's threatening with the fours. It's a volatile position.
Yeah.
And even if he doesn't hit with the fours, red is going to have to be doing something. So this looks like a very strong cube. I would be more worried about the take, actually.
I agree with your analysis. I mean, Chris is playing this a bit in Ralph's style, really cautious with the cube. There's the hit. This may easily be market loss.
Yeah.
He even seems sometimes a bit reluctant to make the obvious play. And Ralph will now be happy to drop this.
Yeah.
Tim Parfit in the chat says it was definitely a cube, and Cecilia Sparks says no. So, wow.
Is Cecilia's comment no? Is that? I guess she's saying no because he didn't double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terry Pedersen seems to agree with the fact that there was a chain of missed cubes.
Yeah.
But without XG verification, we have to be prudent with our judgment and not be too harsh, because we could easily have it wrong.
Yeah, and also those positions where you have some structure in front of an advanced anchor, and but you have an anchor yourself. Those are very difficult because you need to get those checkers home as well. It's not just about blocking your opponent. But when the position collapsed, there's a clear double.
Yeah. Yes.
4-1.
Yeah, a guy in the chat says he verified it with XG, adding some credibility to his statement, and said it was a double pass.
Yeah.
Of course, the ultimate double was a huge pass, that we agree on.
The question is, what about before the double?
Yeah.
That looked very difficult even to take.
Yes. 4-3.
And a dance.
And the cube out of board.
2-1.
Yeah.
Double threes.
And block.
Yeah, that's a good response. 4-1. He can hit, but then there's no ace. So he'll have to play. I would play 8-4.
Yeah. Conform Ralph's style.
Double threes.
A bit too many threes.
Guess making the 4 point. Oh, he wants to make the bar.
Ah, yeah, making the 4 point and keeping the midpoint. Yes. He played this fast.
Yes, also because the first threes he could have just played and then considered it. Do you want the 10 point here or the 4 point?
Yes, you are. I think you are quite right here. Quite right.
Four, 6. Like his play might have been better, but perhaps poor technique.
Wow. That's a blitz versus prime, but an easy take, I would say.
Yeah. Chris just took that in a split second.
Yes.
Almost insulted on that double.
Yes, exactly. Yes. You read that well. forced to strip the 6 and create a dilly-builder. An unpleasant roll.
Yeah. Ralf will be very happy about this development.
Yes.
So gammon danger for Chris.
Yes.
1-5. He'll have to step up.
Mm-hmm.
And another. So what's going to happen is Ralf will want to hit with 4s or 6-3. And now all his points are stripped. So when he enters, he'll have to give up something.
Yes. Unless it's a small number.
Oh, that's
wow,
great.
Talking about a small number.
That's exactly what he needed.
Whoa, this is a blow to Ralf. We can see him shake his head. Wow. It's fun also. I mean, Ralf is a great player to watch. You seldom or hardly ever see irritation or frustration. But we can read on his face that he's not happy.
Yeah.
But still, no reason for him to panic. This is still a very promising position for him.
Oh, yeah. He would take this position before the game.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, Chris's position is terrible. 3 strip points and then just bury checkers already. So now he needs 6s. And even when he gets the 6s, then Ralf was ready to attack that checker.
Yes. So even with this super joker roll of aces, Chris is far from out of the woods.
Yeah.
Do you think that anchoring up is necessary? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
a tricky play, I guess, because you want to take advantage of his Chris's inflexible position, but on the other hand, you don't want to leave lots around for a turnaround. So it's tricky.
Some semblance of a board.
Double 2. Right now he's blocking double 6s, which is
Yes. Yes.
so he'll be reluctant to give up that point, but he's going to have to give it up at some point anyway.
Yes.
And if he leaves it, then what's the alternative? Then he'll have to move all the way with the other checker.
Yes, at least if he leaves it now and the double 6s come, he will have a shot from the bar.
Yeah.
Tricky, these plays, how to bring your checkers home.
Yeah. And then to what degree you want to keep them. Are you bringing them home, or are you or is it outfield control, or is it a combination of the two?
Yes.
Here, White's chance is actually the race, or a lucky hit in the outfield. So, and those two things attack each other.
Yeah. Conflict.
Conflict each other. Yeah. So 3s,
He finds it.
and he'll bring the ace in, I think,
Yeah.
to cover.
Right.
1
1-5 would be horrible.
1-6 is a joker. Double 1s are also great, but he'll be happy with any one. 4-3.
Do you? Yeah, no cover. Okay. I would be tempted not to cover, hoping for rolls like 1-3, 1-4, 1-5, but that would be over the top, probably, or too rich.
Yeah, that's tricky.
This is strange.
It's tricky because White had a 5-point board.
Yes.
So now when White's on the bar, Red might be tempted to give up the point now. But the problem with that move is then he'll have to bury a checker behind the anchor. You want to avoid that as well. So 4-3, great roll.
Yes. I was just going to say that Red's checkers were not ideally positioned to bear off against the deuce point game. You don't want them on the high points.
4-3 solved it.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, according to Mitchie's book, against the deuce game, you want to look at the immediate danger.
Right.
Whereas if it's against the ace game, then you want to look at the long-term danger, the mountain structure. That's the aggressive play.
Yeah, it is.
He could have cleared a point,
Yeah.
but he's looking at gammons, 3 checkers, and although white has a 5-point board, it's stripped and buried checkers. So the gammons go way up by taking chances.
Yeah. So white's contact value is severely diminished by his
Yeah.
compromised board.
Yeah,
Wow.
and he recognizes that and is completely rewarded by rolling 2 high doubles. So
You see, so Ralph's game is a mix of aggression and prudence. He is prudent in certain stages of a game where he doesn't want to create volatility, but he is very aggressive when it comes to
gammons.
to gammons and to exploiting gammon danger. No prudence there.
Yeah,
That's the predator in
Yeah.
him which comes up.
yeah.
And the gammon danger is huge here unless Ralph finds one of his 10 anti-jokers. Wow.
And now they're backgammons.
There's even a backgammon now.
Five numbers though.
5 numbers. No.
They'll take a break, I guess.
You think so? Ralph will not be the one to take a break.
No, but Chris might.
He's a grinder. I mean, taking a break is sometimes a bit of a sign of weakness, I think. I have a tendency to take a break when I'm like a little bit up
Yeah,
and I want to enjoy my lead a bit.
yeah.
And neither is Chris. Chris is very composed. Okay, next game.
But
What
I'm
is it?
guessing-
5 away. 5
Yeah.
away, 10 away.
I always say that. I'm guessing there might be some difference in traditions. In Denmark, there's a team competition, and there's lots of experience with long matches. And I wouldn't call it a tradition, but a lot of players will take a break after a gammon loss, a doubled gammon loss, and trying to sort of halt the game being
The momentum.
the momentum.
Try to break the momentum of the opponent.
And it seems to work, actually.
Okay, yeah. We've all seen it happen, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing seems to work for you. You take a break, you come back, and suddenly things
Yeah.
turn around.
Yeah.
So Chris had 10 away, 5 away. This means that Ralph will be very prudent with the cube because the recube vig of the trailer is enhanced.
Yeah.
So you can take much deeper in mutually gammonish positions as the trailer when your opponent is 5 away and you are many away.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
5 away is actually a very misunderstood match score.
I agree.
Races and gammonish positions, you have to be a lot more careful, and especially leading by 5 points as here. It's a very conservative score for the doubler.
Yes.
Sorry, for the leader.
You think also races?
Actually, my friend Chris Monk Christensen is writing positions about that, or checking race positions, and needing 5 points is actually is a careful, conservative match score, and you can take pretty deep.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yes.
Yeah.
I see, okay. Depends, of course, if it's a long race over 120 pips or if it's already a shortish race, 30, 40 pips or something. When the recube vig goes down, of course.
Yeah, it's very interesting, the stuff that he's checked. Yeah.
Let's see if we can break into his room tonight and get those files out of his safe. Okay, in the meantime, it looks like Ralf is in the driver's seat. The 5 is big,
Oh yeah.
especially with the deuce.
Oh yeah.
Great roll, keeping the cube away. Yeah, decides not to make the 9 point. I agree with that. It leaves no blots, and he doesn't need the 9 point. It doesn't work well with a made 3 point.
This is a tricky play. It's always tricky because you want to keep your checkers back to put pressure, but they're also vulnerable to attack.
Yeah.
And also there are timing issues. So if you stay back, then at some point you will want to move those checkers up anyway. So you might want to do it already now.
Yeah, he would have loved to move up the checker from the 23 point and keep the goalkeeper on 24.
Yeah.
Ralf shuns the hit and makes the 4 point instead.
Yeah, that looks clear.
Sure.
5-3. Now I can make the 15.
Yeah. Does that have any value? What is the blocking value of that 15 point?
Yeah, but
Difficult.
yeah, it's very difficult. It's the same as I mentioned before, the timing problems and the vulnerability of the blot staying there. So it's true that it should be easy to get past that point, but it does at least put some pressure on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now he doubles.
I agree with that, and I don't see the take.
Usually you can't take these, but these.
It's 30 pips, I think.
Oh really?
68, 107 for red,
Yeah.
80, 110, 149.
Okay.
So that's 42 pips.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe he should have stayed back. Because this is a cash.
7. Wow, he takes.
Yeah.
Wow, we are looking
Maybe
for...
he's taking it on the match score, some match score issue. But there's not enough contact here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So double 5s. He can just make the 3 point. That ace, that blot won't be vulnerable at all.
Yes.
He'll hit with aces. That's it.
Yes.
Double aces, I mean. 5-3.
I mean, this can have a big psychological impact on Ralf, because Ralf, I guess, is convinced that it was a pass. I think he would wait to double till he knew it was a pass. And if a game like this turns against you, it may really rattle you. So Ralf...
Ralf doesn't seem like a fellow that is easily rattled.
I said it may rattle a lesser player than Ralf. Let's talk like this.
Yeah, okay.
It was a pass. Somebody says in the chat 06.
Okay.
So that's an error.
Okay. And it's the match score that's making it
no. If it's a pass at this score, it should be a big pass.
That's what I mean. So it would have been even more expensive.
Yeah.
At an even score.
Yeah. So the pass is reasonably okay.
Yeah.
If you consider yourself to be a 2 PR inferior player to your opponent, you may be justified in giving up 60 millipoints.
Yeah.
And as we can see, the midpoint, Ralf's midpoint, has not been cleared yet.
Yeah.
But here now, difficult.
Oh, he can just make the ace.
He could make the ace. I think that is worth of consideration.
He's duplicating 3s.
That's true. But he is opening himself up to joker rolls, which could cost him 4 points. Aha.
Yeah.
Wow. Ralf will not
But
hit.
there's another advantage of leaving the point, and that is that he's going to have to give up something anyway later.
Mm-hmm.
So by doing it now,
Mm-hmm.
this position evolves.
Mm-hmm. I see. This doesn't clear. So Ralf has ugly rolls, like, what is it, 6-2 especially?
Yeah. And also,
Double 4s.
Yeah, and he's favored to get some indirect shots here.
Yes. Yeah, crunch time or money time.
But I don't think there's a. I don't know. I don't know what the PR difference would be between these two players, but I don't think it would be 2.
No, I agree. I agree. I was talking hypothetically.
Yeah.
That was almost a 6-2. Yeah, I was talking hypothetically.
Yeah.
It would be disrespectful to Chris to say that there's a 2 PR difference here.
Yeah.
This is definitely not correct.
I'm not.
Maybe 1.
I think maybe 1.
Maybe 1.
I think
maybe even
Ralf is a 3-player, 3.5.
Sure.
And maybe
Chris
yeah,
is probably also in that range.
4.3, 4.
Yeah, officially on the BMAP list, something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 PR was a bit insulting even to Chris. I was talking hypothetically.
Yeah.
Let's say that these 2 players are within 1 PR point, especially with Ralf sometimes choosing slightly inferior plays. Wow.
By 3. Okay, so this is. This could very easily be the hitting play to be correct, because that leaves 11 shots, and if he doesn't hit, he'll have to bury checkers, which costs a little bit in the race, and maybe later shots, and 6 shots right here and now. So the difference is only 5 shots.
Yes.
So I think it's pretty clear to hit.
Okay.
My guess is.
Especially with the reshot.
Yeah, there should be some life after that, even if he rolls a 5.
That's interesting. So you hit, you give 5 more shots, but if you get hit, it may be. Well, yeah, but the gammons are worth almost nothing at the score. So being hit and being able to re-hit and win a gammon is maybe a bit too far-fetched as a consideration.
Yeah, but sometimes when you want to give a little bit extra shots, you want to consider what's the downside, and this is if there's life after death.
Wow. See, in these positions he goes for the aggressive option. So a 5, can you recube? Wow, there is the 5.
That's actually a very good question. A recube from the bar in a position.
Yeah, I mean a 4 cube, I'm not sure. 11 shots, which would give him 4 points, and down the. Okay, 5-3. Okay, so big roll coming up.
What you want to look at by redoubling as an underdog in a position is gammons both ways.
Yeah, and there were no gammons hardly for Chris.
Well, actually, the gammons would be somehow if more blots came up.
Yeah.
So if there was an error there from Chris, it was not considering it.
Somebody says that it would have been a 160 blunder not to hit on the 5 points.
Okay.
So that's very interesting theoretical insight you provide us here with. Daniel, I think I would have counted the shots and remained on my midpoint. But like you said, you are not home yet then. And Terry Pedersen, who runs the Backgammon Studio, says that according to his information, the PRs are 4.4 versus 5.5 over a huge load of matches. So that would be a 1 PR difference. But I think Chris can do much better than 5.5 on any given day.
Yeah, and I think I saw Terry also saw a difference around 1.
Yes. Okay, so a bit of a break for Chris, and Ralf has to, how do you say that, like a boxer who gets a blow, he has to get over it and recover.
Yeah.
Time-wise, wow, look, Is this this is 7 minutes and 9 minutes?
Yeah, I noticed that earlier. I was surprised. My prediction would have actually been that Chris was a bit slower than Ralf. But there can be many reasons for you spending a little bit more time.
Sure.
Maybe you're counting pips slower than you usually do, or it could be all kinds of reasons.
Or the complexity of the positions which come up.
Yeah. Or just making sure.
Yeah, this is an important stage of the competition. The winner of this match will, I think, only have to win one more to make it to the final four, or maybe two more, but I think one more. So this is exactly the scenario which I speculatively announced. Chris took a cube which was a pass, managed to turn the game around, and yeah. You see, we can see Ralf shaking his head.
Yeah.
So it is interesting also, we cannot watch the board and the players at the same time, but it is kind of interesting also to watch Ralf. I mean, Chris, there's not much to see. He is very stoic.
Yeah.
Hard to read.
Yeah. But he actually looks kind of pleased right now, actually.
Do you see some satisfaction on his?
A little bit, I guess. But maybe it's just because I know he just won.
Yeah, he always has this mellow appearance.
Yeah. And he was a runner-up in this tournament last year, so I'm guessing he's enjoying himself here in Gibraltar.
Yes.
If you have a good experience from a tournament, then it's easier to think positively when you come back.
True. And Ralf may be in cube territory here. 96, 104 to Ralf, 82, 91, 117. So 13 pips, I think. Ralf is leading against the 4-point anchor with a gap on the 5. He judges it as not enough.
Yeah. The open 5-point leaves a lot of shots.
Yes. Even if you put the two checkers from the mid on the 10, it would still be a comfortable take.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is also difficult.
Yeah, because he's looking at that white might, that Chris will have to give up something.
Yeah.
Have a cube next time.
Yeah. And that's a pass now, right?
It looks like
Unless a high double comes out.
No, this looks like a huge pass.
Yeah. 86 for red. 82, 85, 103. 17 pips.
Yeah, that's a pass on the race. And then so Chris will be looking at that 5-point. That open 5-point and saying, is that going to give him enough shots to be able to take?
Yeah. Personally, I think not.
No. Also, the close race has a downside as well when you're waiting for a shot, and that is that if Ralf is able to maintain his position for a couple of rolls, Chris will be giving up something.
Yes. Yes. Ralf has all these spares to play with, even when he rolls badly, like 4s don't play well. By that time, Chris's position...
It's a clear take.
What is... clear take?
122 take, Andreas.
This here?
Yes.
Wow, this is a strong take then.
Well done.
I need to study these positions. I mean, I cannot guesstimate the contact value.
No, it's difficult. It's really difficult. We know that if you have an anchor without any, you need 3 or 4 points to clear that. I think that's 15% in contact.
I see.
So, 15% chance of hitting.
Uh-huh.
So, and here there's an empty spot and some chances in the race. So it's a difficult position. And the match score, again, needing 5 points.
Yes. Very powerful recube, especially in gammonish positions, which is not the case here.
So well done. Well done.
Well done, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes. And another 4. See, the 4s are starting to play tricks on Ralf.
And Chris was able to hold his position.
Yeah, he needs
so now he can just run.
He can run.
He can run without it hurting him too much. That 4-3 is bad, really bad, because now red can survive a hit.
So with a 5, you would have run.
Yeah, you would have to run because what you're gaining, what you're hoping for, is to maintain your position, so that if you hit, that will win the game. Now the empty.
Look, that's a fascinating play by Ralf. I would immediately have cleared my 8. He decides to keep the contact now.
That's the 3 roll. It's the 3. The position when you have a point, 3 points away from the anchor. That's the danger point, according to Michi.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, he is forced to hit. There is these 4s.
So
this time it doesn't come for Chris.
no. So he'll have to lift that. And take it off, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree.
So that miss was big.
Yes.
And another dance. 4-3. So next time, the few rolls that leave a shot. 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2.
It's actually better to have danced than to have come in on the 4 point.
Yeah.
Now you have 13 shots instead of only 11. Oh, Ralf is shaking his head. He is shaking his head. Oh, and there is a hit.
Okay.
I mean, look, Ralf is looking at the sky.
Now he's looking at if he should lift or not. Now that's tricky, because if he lifts, the tricky thing about it is, can he cash after a dance if he lifts?
I see. No, he can't. Yeah, maybe he can.
Because it's a recue, and he's trailing.
Yes.
So if that's a cash, you should lift now, because you don't want to gamble on the hit.
Yes.
However, if it's not a cash, that's a very tricky move.
That's very interesting insight. Yeah, and this
3-1.
is for redouble. Wow. Wow, and Ralph's stake point is high.
Yeah, this is a clear dance, the pass.
5 away, 8 away. His stake point is probably 28, 29%.
Yeah. So if any of the viewers can give us the information on if it's a take after you lift the block and a dance, that would be great information, because then we know then and that's a mistake.
Yeah. Wow, these are 2 games where Ralf was a substantial favorite and managed to bring didn't manage to bring his position home and lost it.
Yeah.
So instead of being on the verge of closing out the match, we have a 5 away, 6 away score suddenly.
And I believe this is
It was right to lift.
right to lift, and therefore, but it was right to lift, yes. But was it a cash after lift dance? But we need to know that one.
Okay. But we will, of course, always be able to check it afterwards, because this will be on YouTube, and we can do all the transcription at home and listen to how well we did in the commentary booth. Yes, somebody suggests, Terry, that maybe not lifting is a good option if you have a direct cover. And since he had no direct covers, that's maybe also a minor consideration, maybe.
Well, now they say there was a take. It was a take. Well, They're not saying it's a take after the dance.
Yeah, but Backgammon data, we are not sure whether he
Okay.
is using XG or not. I mean,
Okay.
sometimes some comments are a bit too...
Questionable.
yes,
Okay, back to this game.
yes.
8-7. By the way, I would have taken a break here. There's no question at all. I would have taken a break. He's 2 games in a row he comes back, and Ralf, although he seems cool, he seems a little bit irritated. He's looking up in the air. He's not looking at the board. And Chris is happy to play on. He's just won 4 points that were almost lost.
Yes. Well, I think Ralf prides
They're using
himself-
XG.
they are using it.
Okay.
Thank you, Backgammon Data. I'm sorry. I had no idea how credit-worthy you were, let's say. So it's good to know that you are using XG. Thanks a lot.
It's funny how the game has changed. I had a break of 8 years where when I came back, everyone was talking about XG and how good XG was. And when I had stopped, we questioned all computer decisions. But that had stopped in the meantime. So now XG, whatever XG says is correct.
Yep.
Talia asks, how did I become so strong, Daniel? And he knows I play on Backgammon Studio.
So it's a rhetorical question.
Yeah, it's a rhetorical. There's a smiley there. Okay, good.
Do you know Andreas Christensen?
Yeah.
You know him?
Yeah, he's a fellow Dane.
Okay. Okay. Sixes, finally a bit of a break for Ralf. But I thought his play was very interesting, the 5-1. I mean, I would have automatically cleared the 8. And your insight there, I mean, I will have to listen to it again and ingrain it in my mind. That it's more important to to clear the point 3 away from the anchor instead of 4 away.
The 3 away is the danger point.
Wow.
According to the book.
Well, the book is about the 3-point anchor, when he has the 22-point
I mean,
anchor.
No, it's any anchor.
Huh?
If you have a point, three pips away,
Points.
that's the point to clear. Yeah.
Okay. So the race is here, 90, yeah, hard to say. 64, 95, 95 for red. 95 for red, it's probably close. Mm, 72, 80, 88, 90. It's a close race.
Yeah.
So Ralf wisely waits.
Now we're down to a 1-point lead, but it's still 5 away. So red will be a little bit more careful, but not as careful as before, of course, but still more careful than a 0-0 score, say.
Yes. I find the 6 away, 5 away score very difficult, especially for recubes, because the gammon values shift dramatically, the take points become higher, and there is a difference between the recube take point for the 5 away and for the 6 away player, and I can't seem to get it into my system.
And also from the UBC tournament, we know there's 7-point matches, all of them. And because the players were so strong, they were getting their initial doubles in, so you often had redouble questions. And they were occurring at all scores, so much more than usual, because in usual standards there would be a lot more missed doubles and a lot fewer recubes.
Well, in fact, this is a score 1-0 to 7.
Yeah.
And I always learned that as the trailer, if the leader doubles you, the point you give up doesn't cost you much. To go from 1-0 down to 2-0 down doesn't cost you much, so you can like drop it a little more easily.
Yeah.
It's one rule of thumb I have.
Yeah. But I think it's fairly close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, there are the 6 shots, the 6 winning shots for Chris. This time he cannot pull it out of the fire.
Yeah, what's the race now? We got 30, 38, 48, 51.
70 for white.
Well, you wrote 4-3. Okay.
Yeah. 70 for white, and this is there. This is a 48, 54, 56, 61. 56, 61.
Okay.
Close. This
Okay,
wraps it up.
This game's over.
Mm-hmm. Unless we have another high double. No, game is over. Okay. 6 away, 4 away is also a very fun score.
Yeah.
But plays much more like money than does 6 away, 5 away score, 6 away, 3 away, or stuff like that.
Actually, it's interesting because sometimes it's exactly like money.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's a huge difference. The more gammons you have in the position, well, I don't know. That's not even always true. It's actually very complicated to score 4 away, 6 away.
What I know is that the 4 away player can cube like in money, and the recube he gets is also like in money. So it's not that he has a very high take point on a recube.
The leader.
The leader,
Yeah.
the 4 away player. But the amount of gammons and the role that plays, that I am not aware of.
Yeah.
So I would be interested to hear more about that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Let's see what happens.
Good response there.
Yeah.
That was the opening sequence 5.
I forgot.
Yeah, it was 5-4, double 4.
I was elaborating on the score and not
Oh,
paying
no,
attention.
no, sorry.
No problem.
That wasn't.
Okay.
No, it wasn't double 4. Okay, good. We'll move on. 4-2.
Yeah. Interesting. People may say you are putting yourself under the gun, but at the same time you are exerting pressure on the 9-point blot.
Yeah.
And if you come in on the 23 point, you have like a very hard time escaping. So I thought the play was correct. A dance. Chris dances. So Chris is underdog.
Yeah, and also a dance here is expensive.
And there it
Another
is.
dance. Yeah. So 4 away, 6 away.
Yeah.
He's threatening with 4s.
He waits. Wants to hit first.
Yeah, that's fair enough. White has
agree.
has a board.
Mm-hmm.
Another dance. Okay. He
Now
still
the
has
race.
3 checkers back.
Yeah.
And white has a board, so it's not exactly like a double 3 blitz, but he must be very close to a double here.
Yeah, white has 139. What is this? 12, 123, 129, 160. Well, he is like, yeah.
And that's a super joker, his best roll. So now he'll be playing on if there's a dance, I guess. And if he enters,
for sure he will.
And that's a tricky play. Remember, there's a checker back on the 24 point. But I guess he just considers he's way too good. I would think about it.
Well, the only thing that, how did you say that? So when there is a turnaround where you cannot cube anymore, you regain your market?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah, I guess that's what I guess he's considering
Like
this
one.
play here.
Yes.
Is that a take? If he considered this position a pass, he would have been correct to play on, of course, because this is a great roll for Chris.
Yeah.
So if he's right on that one, then there's no question at all that he should play on.
And he does cube now, so he went probably from too good to double, and then there was this joker roll by Chris.
Yeah.
And now do we have a double in or a double out?
Yeah. But even if it's a double in, Ralf could have been right of a waiting, because
Sure.
2-1 was an excellent response.
Yes, yes. The immediate turnaround was very unlikely.
Yeah. Now,
He
he takes.
Yes, he has enough containment equity.
Yeah, and the gammons are fairly low, like because he can't anchor, so white will be moving quite a few pips before he gets around.
Yeah. And immediately already,
Yeah,
white has 12 devastating rolls, which can take the steam out of.
and he makes a bar
He
point.
makes
as
the
well.
bar point, which is second best, but very good.
So he's already justified his take.
Where do you play the 6? I think to the 8.
I think so too.
Or
But sometimes you're supposed to jump out, especially against the strip point.
yes.
What they're calling that something? Falcon.
Double
something.
falcon.
Double falcon. Yeah.
Yeah, double tiger, and jumping out with 2 checkers in front of a strip midpoint is now the double falcon.
And everyone's doing it, I see.
Yeah, 2s and 4s.
Yeah.
4 and 6 down. You give up the pressure on that 14-point blot, but otherwise it would be too expensive.
Yeah.
Same problem. You want to come in on the 3, even though you put yourself under the gun.
Yeah. And also, if he put himself on the 2, he could safety that blot.
Yeah. Yes.
But you have to go up to the edge.
Oh,
Double
5,
5.
4, and double 5s.
Now that hits 2.
Gee.
Or you can just run with both. But that would leave return shots.
This
You
is
have to hit
difficult.
it.
This
You
is a
have to hit 2.
classic.
So another turnaround, it looks like. You have to hit 2. You can't give him anything at all.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he's thinking about safetying the blot, because if he safeties the blot, then there's lefts. I don't know.
4-1.
That's a great, but he has a recube here. You're trailing by 6 points and you have obvious threats.
Yeah, consideration, of course, is that the gammon value for Chris, I would have to calculate it over the board. If he recubes the 4, a single win would bring him to 64, and the gammon win to single loss to 0.
But
yeah,
his
gammon value is also 50%.
Yeah, and he kills his opponent's gammons. So
Yes.
I would redouble, but I might be wrong.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it says it says I was correct.
Correct to recube. Yeah. Yes, that was probably a bit too timid, because Ralf would maybe have been prepared to let it go. Maybe.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm talking in general.
Oh, it's
After
a small one. Yeah.
After such a brutal anti-joker against you, players may be... I'm not sure. That was an exciting sequence. The double 5s. I couldn't figure out what the right way to play it was. I think I would just have played the 2 of them from the back and hit at the cost of some returns from the bar. But I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I
So-
agree
so
with you,
the-
Daniel, that the recube was definitely an option.
So they're telling us it was a small double. The first double, Ralf Jonas' double, is small.
Okay.
So this 3-1 was tricky as well, because he could have hit. He could hit with the 3 and then move up with the ace. 5-3. and that just jumps.
Yes.
So Chris is just getting all the rolls he needs now.
Yes. An ace and no 5. He cannot jump out.
He needed that one. And 2-5,
Ooh.
another jump.
Yes.
Now he needs an ace or a 3.
3.
2. Hitting and lifting. Well, there's no other 2. 2 and 3. Now Ralf will hit with anything, of course.
Sure.
Pointing. So he's right back as a favorite.
Yes. I think Chris just let a chance slip away after the double 5s.
Yeah. He'll be happy about that now, though.
I mean, and now he can lose a gammon
Yeah.
for match.
Yeah.
Whereas the recube, if it got taken, at least he would have, he would not have been in gammon danger.
Yeah. Now there's jokers from the bar, double aces.
Yes.
6-2. 3-1. It's getting away there.
So should red come to a closeout, I think there are about 20% gammons.
Yeah, with the 5 checkers in the outfield? Okay. 1-4. Goes out.
Of course, he will never slot the bar. Oh, really?
He's thinking about it. I don't think he's going to do that.
It looks like when he smells blood, the predator in him comes alive and he goes for the... he doesn't shy away from the aggressive plays when he smells blood.
Yeah. So there's a big killer instinct.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's too big. It's not only the 1-6, it's also a double aces.
I think Falafel would say, I bet you 3-1 he doesn't slot the bar point. 4-1. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's giving him double aces anyway. So.
Yeah, double ace.
Oh, that was 4. Sorry. Yeah.
1-5.
Sorry.
He couldn't have.
Yeah. So now he'll hit with 5s and 4s. Double 5s. No, he'll make the prime.
Yeah.
And now he can hit.
He can.
And he will, I think.
I think so.
There's
There's not
there's
much
a
upside.
he can close him out and win a gammon.
Yeah, but very unlikely. Less than 10. Oh, yeah. See, there's the ace and the 3, and if you now come in with an ace, you are in trouble.
Yeah, but still.
It was worth the risk.
Yeah, because that's a pretty long shot, and still he would have chances.
At least Chris should be able to save the gammon here.
Yeah.
4s don't make the 4 point.
Is that deuces?
Deuces.
Okay.
You bring them all into the 5?
He can make the ace.
No.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
He has the 6. Red has the 6 prime, so you just.
You want to create crunching numbers.
Yeah. Are there any? Can you create any?
Well, 1-6 or 1-5 followed by something else. It's a sequence. There are no immediate crunching numbers.
If it was a DMP, you might want to consider slotting the 4 point.
See, there's the 1-5.
Yeah.
Wow, this would be really cruel. If Chris can now find some like a smallish number, and then
2-1 is really.
Oh, 4-1.
Okay.
You don't hit and you don't break your prime.
So that leaves only 1 roll.
Yeah, but maybe you slot. That's the question.
But that would leave him. That would give him 3s, 2s, and 4s.
Yeah. 2 gammonish. I think this is correct. And now there are crunching numbers.
Yeah.
Anything with a 5 except 3-5.
5,
Look.
6. Okay. Chris doesn't even pause here. Or does he? Is that a pause?
Yes, it is a pause.
3-6, okay.
So Ralf badly needs a 3.
Oh, he gets both.
It's a super joker.
Yeah.
Wow. Just as you think that everything is going against you,
Yeah.
you find a lifesaver. Okay, at least the gammon rate has gone down to around 10%, that would be my guess.
4-3. 5-4. So another dance would have increased that gammon rate, but he comes in, okay.
Yeah.
So there's not much excitement left in this game.
No.
Looks like an easy win, but no gammons.
Wow, but the game has really given us some exciting positions.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
this could have easily gone wrong for Ralf for the 3rd time in a row.
Yeah.
If he hadn't found the Super Joker 3-1, but something else like 3-4 or 5-4 or whatever, the cube could have come flying.
Well, I think he even had a chance. He also had a game-saving ace earlier on in the game, where Chris had jumped out, and he needed an ace, or else there would have been a recube. So 2 away, 6 away.
Interesting.
Yes.
High take point in non-gammonish positions for the 2-away player. His take point is 23%.
Yeah.
But the gammon value is pretty normal. Interesting to know the difference between 5 away, 2 away, and 6 away, 2 away, of course.
There's a huge difference.
Of course.
We'll see if we get to a score where there's 2 away, 5 away, because that's a very it's commonly misunderstood match score. So he split with 2-1. The big split there, that's wrong. I believe that's wrong.
Well, okay.
Well, I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Actually.
Not sure. Not sure. No. Not sure.
No, maybe it's close actually. The 2 away. Yeah. He's missing 2 away. Maybe so. Maybe it's good enough. You're supposed to split that with the 3-2. So now he made the anchor, so it paid off. So how bad could it have been? 3 2s.
Yeah, you have to split.
Yeah, again, your opponent has an anchor, so you want an anchor.
He is thinking of how to split, maybe 2 up?
Yeah, but then yeah, that looks good. It opens up to some blitz thing, but you should be all right with only 8 checkers, and you have a better board. What's the roll? 5?
5-1.
5-1, okay. So he plays completely safe.
Yes.
Oh, 6. You can run with 2.
Yeah, but you give a direct shot.
Yeah, but it's the time to do it. If you don't do it, then...
And how about the bar point? Is that isn't there much value in that?
It is, but it leaves the 2 back checkers.
Okay, but they should be able to escape easily.
Yeah, but the plan is to escape now. That's what I would do anyway.
Okay.
Now there's some contact. It's not a bad play, but 5-1. So you can make the ace.
Yeah.
And a cube.
Yes, in a non-gammonish position, or reasonably non-gammonish.
Yeah.
So Ralf will have to figure out how much he is behind in the race, and if he can take this. Nope.
Takes the eye.
And now it's 5 away, 2 away. What are the complexities here?
Well, it's people are used to that when there's a 2 away match score that you have to be very aggressive as the trailer and very careful as the leader. But of all the leading two match scores, this is the match score where you can take the deepest.
Correct.
And if it's a race, you can take down to 17%.
Right.
And that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know that, that's
A big
you're going to
weakness.
you're going to be making huge mistakes.
I agree. Yeah, you can take 3 pips deeper
Yeah,
in a longish race than
Yeah.
normal.
yeah,
But if it's gammonish, you have to take into account that the gammons are worth 0.7, so the gammons are way more dangerous. So
Yeah.
it's very wise to strive for a non-gammonish position as the leader here.
yeah. But even with the gammon rate of 0.7, it still means that you can take fairly deep compared to other scores where you need 2 points.
Okay. I see. What I always do at these scores is use the GAT, the gammon adjusted take point.
Yeah,
You know, I try to guesstimate what is the gammons. Does he have 20% gammons? I multiply by 0.7, I add it to 17, and then I see if the winning chances of the opponent are sufficient to drop or not.
okay, that's great.
4-2. Yeah, nice blocking point.
Yeah. The 9 point is worth a lot more than usual when your opponent has the anchor of the 22 point.
Yes. So Chris is just looking for an escaping roll here. 4-5 or 6-3 would have been great. I think you run right.
Yeah,
Hopes to survive.
yeah. So this is a non-gammonish position, so he has nothing until
I agree.
in a long time. He'll
This
have
is
to.
a very easy take. Too early to double.
So he'll make the 11.
Yes, or maybe with the 2 blots. No, you can't afford to make the 4 points. No, it's too risky. This is good enough.
It's good enough. He wants to just improve his position. And although there's a low take point, Chris can just. Now we'll actually see if Chris knows this. Because with 2 empty spots, there's no chance at all that he's getting close to the 17% take point.
Yeah.
So you can just roll on. Yeah, this is a choice between the ace point or just moving up. Just giving up the 11 and then leaving some fly shots with 2 blots in Ralph's board. That might be worth it. I don't know. That's what he made anyway.
6 shots.
When you want to take a risky play and you realize that you're not even sure your opponent should hit, if you should hit, then that's not a risky play at all.
Interesting. This is a very bad roll.
Yeah, he just buries. 5-1.
Yeah.
He could have just played down from the midpoint. Chris might not be hitting.
Yes, but why would he do that? I think he was strengthening his board.
Yeah.
If he did something constructive.
6-4.
Now, of course, yeah. Now maybe it is a consideration whether he leaves a blot on the mid.
Yeah, but now there are no blots. So if white hits here, then it's easier to bring his checkers home. Or is it? No, it's not easier.
I'm not sure because
Shouldn't be
white is
easier.
stripped.
Yeah.
So
So he's going to give up a point now anyway.
he goes for that tactical ploy.
Yeah. Double twos.
That looks like a good one. I think you make the bar.
Putting pressure on the checker. But that gives him double sixes. Whereas if he brings 2 down, he blocks double sixes and double fours.
Yeah, but I think he's looking also at the efficiency of his cube.
Yeah.
So now we have to count the race. 50, 94 for red, 94, 70, 84. So there's about 10 pips. So an easy take, it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, this is an easy take.
I agree.
Because there's shot equity and race equity. And when one goes up, the other one goes down.
There is a slight chance of squeeze equity. Any 6 squeezes red off his anchor, and then it will become gammonish.
Yeah, but white has to move first.
Yes. The 2 goes down.
Yeah, he has to leave shots here because, yeah, otherwise it's crazy. 2-4.
Yeah. Ralf preserves his board. Yeah. No roll which fills the 5 point yet.
Yeah.
See, now a 6 could give some attacking chances. 6-1 would be his worst. I think 6-2.
It was a no double, they say.
Yeah. I'm not so surprised.
No.
So this opens up slight chances of a gammon. This will be a strong cube now.
Yeah.
There is the pointer. Should it come to a closeout,
Yeah.
white would have about 20% gammons.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's a good roll at all. He has an
No.
uneven point of
Yeah.
checkers on that.
Still,
But
I wouldn't be too unhappy about it. He doesn't want to roll one of his block levers. That would be cruel. And there's one. A 4 is badly needed for Ralf. A 4 to win the match. A dance to maybe lose a gammon. 4 wins the match for Ralf Jonas. Well,
he has 4 checkers off.
4 checkers off.
So he should have 15% or something. Red has a checker on the deuce.
Yeah. Yeah, 15%. I agree. 5 checkers off would be 22. 1 checker fewer, probably around 15%.
So he probably has a little higher than 15 with the checker there on the deuce.
Yes. Wow, this was a big moment, and Chris has not been lucky in this tournament. We already mentioned the cruel defeat he suffered against Thomas Muir, having led 12-0
Yeah.
and losing 17-15. And now this. It's like the victory was dangling in front of his nose,
Yeah.
and it was then snatched away.
Yeah. Notice how Ralf took a checker off. When your opponent has taken checkers off, you'll almost always just want to take a checker off with a 5.
Oh, and now it's Ralf who rolls the high double and leaves the 4 shot from the bar.
So
What a funny sequence of events. Can Chris now find a 4?
he can.
Yeah, he can. What a...
Wow.
This is, wow, amazingly exciting. Wow, twice a high double leaving
Yeah.
a shot on the 4 point, and twice it gets hit.
He enters, and that's a big
Yeah.
enter.
Who's favorite now? White, I guess.
3, 6.
Both have 4 checkers off in the meantime.
And the contact
That
now,
leaves a
red has
direct
a shot.
shot.
Yeah.
You have to limit shots, probably.
3, 6, 10, 4, 8, 10. Yeah, they both have 10 checkers on the board. Sorry, in their inner board, so 11 checkers. So 17 shots. He'll leave 2 more shots, but this helps the race and for the risk, so it's
Another
clear.
4 required. Ralf finds it again.
So he would have hit it as well with the 6s. That's huge. Oh,
But this is probably now too little, too late.
yeah.
High doubles required for Chris in this thrilling climax of a very entertaining match.
Yeah. 4-3.
So it looks like Ralf is going to pull this one off.
5-1. Not often you see 3 hits here.
Amazing.
And that's a game over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great match, a bit of, well, I would say a complacent smile by Chris. He fought well and the game could easily have swung the other way.
Yeah. Very close in the last game, and he could easily just won 2 points there, and we'd have 11-10 at the score, and then he hit him twice.
Yes.
So
it's a bit of a pity for the spectators and for us that we were deprived of a fascinating, what would it have been, a 4-way, 2-way score?
Yeah.
But you can't always have it your way.
no. I'm surprised they played the entire match without a single break.
They did.
Yeah, because it was a long game. They had many games, and there were also some swings, as I mentioned. So there was Ralf could have been disappointed, and but he just played on and won the match. So well done to him.
Yes. I think, but I think Chris, he told me before the match that he has a doubles consultation match coming up right after this one.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't want to stretch the match too long. And I don't think Chris is the guy who plays psychological games. Like you could play a bit of a psychological game by taking a break after you have just staged a comeback to let your opponent stew in his juice a little bit. But this is not Chris's character.
Oh.
He is too kind-hearted to play games like this.
Yeah. But also, like, there's a question on how to get the maximum out of your game, and do you need a break? Christensen, who I mentioned earlier, he has a rule where he'll play for 45 minutes and then he'll need a break. Okay. And he knows by experience that his error rate it goes up if he doesn't have a break every 45 minutes.
To refuel a bit mentally.
Yeah, and 45 minutes, that's the same as the first half in a soccer game. It's a natural point to take a break. When you're working hard and the brain's working hard, it doesn't look like much, but
sure.
And we could see, I love this with the heart rate at this tournament, because you could see during the match yesterday with Thomas Christensen and Michi, 2 guys that are in shape and in form, but you could see when their heart rate went up.
Sure.
And that, doing that for hours and hours, that takes a strain on the body. And so you need to know when to take breaks. And
yes.
I don't know if you need to know it. They were doing well, but
there's all kinds of breaks. We could elaborate on that for quite a while. There are psychological breaks. There are tactical breaks.
Yeah.
But it was indeed a surprising feature of this match that none of the players took a break.
Yeah.
But now we can go on a break, Daniel.
Yeah, that's good.
Thanks very much for joining me in the studio here. I think your commentary was very valuable. I will definitely watch the video again and listen again to your input.
Thank you
see
very
if
much.
I can learn from it.
Thank you.
You guys at home, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you back, I think, after the UBC final. The UBC final between Ueda-san and Michi will be at 2:30, I think, and then after that we'll have a late evening match from the quarterfinals of the main here in Gibraltar. See you later, guys. Enjoy your lunch. Bye.
Bye.